We're in this moment today, and today we are discussing the divine over dreams. Now, what does this really mean? What am I talking about? Well, the divine doesn't care about your dreams. It doesn't care about your desires. If it's already written down in the script for you to win $1 million at some point in your life, then the script doesn't really care if you have the desire or the dream to go win that $1 million. If you had the desire and the dream to win that $1 million, then it was already in alignment with the script that was already destined for you to live out and play out in, right? It's the same thing that goes, this applies to your dreams, this applies to your ambitions, your goals, your desires in life. If this is already written in the script that you're gonna win, maybe you're going to have 1 million subscribers or 140K subscribers one day. You wake up, you can get the download that was gonna play out that way for you, or you were not gonna get the download. It doesn't really matter. Like, to be or not to be, we feel like we have a choice, we feel like we have a say, because we are so identified and we're so close and attached to this ego, in this sense of direction, in this sense of knowing, which is our ego, which is our sense of self, right? But because of our daily habits, our living in society, our modern day lifestyles, the things we engage in every day can strengthen this power in believing that we have a say, that we have a voice, that we know where we're gonna end up in tomorrow, or we're gonna wake up tomorrow morning and everything is gonna be the way it's gonna be. We think that we have a sense of direction. It's like our compass, right? This is kind of what the ego is. The ego plays as our sense of compass. It plays as our sense of direction. So we have this illusion that allows us to make us feel that we know what's gonna happen before it happens, or we make our plans for this weekend and we think that we're gonna go do those plans because everything is looking right and everything is looking okay in that moment, right? But this is sort of what the mind is. This is what the mind does for us. So if you have the desire to go chase something, well, the divine doesn't really care if you have the desire or not. If you do have the desire, it's in alignment with the script that's already written out, that's already played out, that you've already played out, you've already experienced for yourself. Right? Like, this whole ego is, it's as if it's a compass for you, you know? It makes you feel as if you have some stability, some ground to walk on in this sort of motion of phenomenon, this motion of phenomenon and happening. It kind of gives us ground to walk on. It gives us some stability. It makes us feel secure in that moment. It makes us feel stable. It makes us feel secure. It makes us feel like we have a ground to walk on, and all of this sort of chaoticness and motion that we live in, we exist in. This is kind of what the ego is. It creates stability, it creates ground, it creates safety. It's a safety net almost. But it's nothing but a filter that gives us peace, and it gives us stability and security. It makes us feel as if we have stability and we have security in this motion of everything, in this motion of happening that we exist in. So you can write down all your dreams, you can write down all your desires. Maybe you won't live all of them and fulfill all of them, because whatever life can throw at you, because you feel as if you have a say, you feel as if you have a sense of direction and you have control over your reality, and you run this whole sort of show that we live in. But you're going to end up where you need to end up, and you are going to be where you need to be, as everything will be. But because you have the sense of self, you have the sense of compass, you have some sense of direction, then you're going to feel like you're in control of where you're going to be. You're going to feel like you have control of where. It's as though we are walking down this path, right? And we're just going in, we're traveling by, we're taking our turns, we're maybe turning around, maybe we're going straight for a while, maybe we're turning left. We feel like we're making all of these turns, right? Like we're turning left, we're turning around, we're slowing down, we're speeding up, but we're on this path. All of us are on this path individually. We think that we feel that we are, because of our egos, because of the filter, the feeling filter, and the sense of self, the sense of compass. We feel that we are making the turns. We're turning left, we're turning right, we're speeding up, we're speeding down, we're turning around. But that's all God's work. God is the one who is doing all of these sort of navigations for us. And we're on this narrow path. We are on our own individualized, tailor-made, individually constructed paths that are designed for us to take as a separate entity. And these are nothing but a collection of the happening, the everything, right? These are all little separate units that play a bigger construct of the everything, of the happening, of the ultimate reality. And you feel as if you're in control of everything. That you made the decision to turn left when you were on that path, or you made the decision to slow down or to speed up or to turn around. But that's all the force of, the source. So this is all this really is. Right? And then we kind of dissolve back into our egos so that we can live in our everyday lives, so that we can live in constructualized society, and we can engage in society, and we can do the role play, and we can do the engage in this fantasy world that we created for ourselves, that the human ego constructed, the human mind constructed. That is nothing That is all this society really is. It's a byproduct of the human mind, of the human ego. And it's also due to our nature, our human nature. So we don't really have a say. We feel as if we have a say here, in that we have full control of everything, and that we can do everything, and we're safe, and everything is under our power and in our control and of our will, which is supposed to be free will, right? But it's nothing but a act. It's sort of a facade that we sort of dissolve into in everyday life. We fall into, we step into. Like, it's good to have dreams, it's great to have goals, it's good to have ambitions, it's good to have desires. Why though? Why is it good to have these things? Is it because society told you? Is it because your peers have them and now you want to look like them and you want to fit in with them? Is it because your society told you? Why? Like, why does it matter? Why is it important? Is it because your family they want you to think that way? Is it because maybe you looked at your friends and your family and they're doing what they're doing, and now they inspired you to do what you want to do now? And that's, have goals, have desires, have dreams, have goals to work towards for yourself. Is that the main reason? Like, you want to achieve something, you want to feel as if you need to achieve something that is greater than your identity with this vessel, with this shell that we live in, that we exist through. You want to achieve things that are greater than the vessel that we live inside of, that we dwell inside of, or the ego that we are so closely identified with in everyday life. Because at the end of the day, all you're left with is the motion of everything, the happening, the moment. You're not left with all of the goals that you achieved, all of the desires that you fulfilled, because all of that turns into a thought, into an idea, as if it never even existed or happened. All experiences eventually turn into an idea or a thought that you take with yourself through life. That's all you really get out of it, until you become a collection of ideas and thoughts. But then you're just left with all of that. All of that space was filled, the experiences, it all turns into ideas and thoughts. So you really want to question who you're doing these things for. Is it my parents? As far as my goals, my dreams, my desires, is it my family? Is it my parents? Is it my peers? Is it my friends? Am I doing it for myself? Okay, well, if I'm doing it for myself, why am I doing it for myself? Is it to also just serve other people again and to do it for others again? Or society? Because if it is, and you feel in your heart that it is, well, then that's also going to be in alignment with the script that's already written out, that you just have to live through and experience for yourself. And you can do this without realizing it. You can do this with realizing it. But there's going to be a magnetic pull by your soul, or whatever you want to call it, that's just going to be bouncing from one place to another on the board. And the board isn't Monopoly. The board is the everything. That's the board, or the ultimate reality. But you are this piece of the board, of the game, and you're bouncing from one point to the other point. And you're moving in directions you never thought you would move in, and you're getting pulled in directions, and you're getting called in certain directions. And this is really all this is. But we're gonna go ahead and put the filter on to feel that this isn't what this is, and to feel that we are in control of this experience, and that we are in control of our reality, and we make the calls, and we make the shots, or we call the shots, and we have a say, and we have a voice, and we have direction. But that's all just a thought. All of this is just an idea, is a thought of the mind. When you look through that, you step through that filter. You can call it the feeling filter, the emotional body, whatever. You step through the filter, you break through, you just see that you are just phenomenon that's flowing. Everything is simply just phenomenon that's flowing, and everything is flowing and moving and cycling, and it can be very chaotic. There's noise, there's motion, there's blur, there's phenomenon, there's it can be, it's a playground. This is nothing but a playground of phenomenon, of noise. And this is really what God is. This is really what the ultimate reality is. This is like the playground of life. And if you step through it, you realize that it could be very chaotic. It could be very noisy. It could be there's just so much going on. But to get a taste of that, you need to dissolve the ego. You can dissolve the ego in many different ways. The ego dissolves. You dissolve into the everything. You dissolve into the happening. You dissolve into this orchestration of flow and just noise and chaos and just happening. And this is all this organism is. This is what the God sort of consciousness is. It's just, we're doing God's work, and we're just flowing in the infinity, in the infinite,